everyone to episode 19, which I guess is technically part 2 of episode 18, but whatever. First of all, I want to say a big hello and welcome to the new subscribers to the channel who may have come on board since seeing episode 18. Great to have you all here. I appreciate every single one of you, old and new. Thank you. Now, remember folks to keep sending in your questions. I've already had a few come through and I'm looking forward to answering them all for you. Send them through in the comment section below or on the socials on the screen now. Episode 18 recap saw us make our way out from Brisbane to Birdsville. As I mentioned in part 1, I've wanted to come out and visit this remote town ever since I was a little fella, so to say I was excited to be there is a definite understatement. The size of the town actually surprised me, and I didn't expect so much bitumen on the roads. I mean, well, not that I was complaining after spending so much time on the corrugations to actually get there. So, of course, I made a beeline to another absolute iconic Australian pub, the Birdsville Hotel. Interestingly, the Birdsville Hotel that we all know in the photos and stories isn't the original hotel. The first one was this one. It had many different uses, this building. It is an absolute marvel to walk around and see how the building was made and gives you an idea as to just how hard life would have been out here back in the 1800s. Now guys, I have to say, I did not expect to find a huge waterhole here in Birdsville at all. However, I have. You can swim in this, guys. I'm not going to, but you can swim in it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's race day. Race day out here at Birdsville. Well, maybe not so much. Unfortunately, due to Corona, this year's Birdsville races were called off. This is where it takes place. Now, just a few weeks prior to me coming out here, the event that turns the population of Birdsville from 350 to 10,000 was cancelled due to Corona. The famous Birdsville races. Walking around the track and the holding yard, you could just imagine the crowds and the atmosphere that would normally take over this track at this time. However, not to be this year. Now folks, I left out as much of my Birdsville episode as I could in this highlights clip in an effort to just pick the best bits, but really guys, there is just so many best bits, it's actually quite tricky. So make sure you check out the individual episodes linked below for the in-depth walk around of these towns. There is just so much to see out here. Now, just wandering around Birdsville, I came across the old jail cells. Now, of course, I just had to have a look. This is actually a cell. Let's have a look. This was rebuilt. The original one was torn down by a whirlwind. Just going to make sure there's no snakes in here. All looks okay. Yeah. How's this guy? Oh, quite a nest he's got going up there. But obviously used as a storage room at the moment. And someone's old telly radio. That's a classic. Have a go at that. Transceivers. Very cool. But yeah, once you're locked up, you're not getting out. Solid steel door. See if I can move it. Oh yeah, there's a bit of weight in that. Classic items in here. Found property, a wallet and money located at Birdsville in 1985. That is classic. Says to report the money, the above mentioned property has been handed back to the rightful owner. Oh, that's boring. What have we got here? 85. Payment of police services performed during the 1985 Birdsville race meeting and ball. Please find attached a copy of the special service duties carried out. This is classic, guys. Application for recreation. Annual recreation leave. Huh. Wonder if he got approved. History everywhere out here, guys. What you're looking at here, next to the runway, all on its lonesome, is the tracker's hut. So, in the 1800s, they had trackers to try and find people. A couple of indigenous people, a couple of Europeans, and this is where they got to live. Lucky them, hey? A tin shack. What a life. One of the most famous dunes in Australia is called Big Red. We all know that I was not going to miss the opportunity to take the Ranger up it. Can't come all this way and not give it a go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Grip, 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 grip. We're thinking about it, we're thinking about it. Oh, come on. Yes, come on. Oh dear. We're nearly there, we're so close. And we made it. You! Big Red, conquered. Yeah, baby. Let's get the famous photo, eh? All right. Bucket list item, ticked. Now I'm going to say it and I'm going to call it, that is the best sunset I have ever seen. Well, as you can see, I absolutely loved Birdsville. However, it was time to move northward towards Boulia. Anyone who says that there isn't anything out here is absolutely lying. There are plenty of sights, lots of ruins and points of interest, and just the scenery. And I mean, goodness me, there is so much history. Alrighty guys, we're on Rosalie Station, and this is the Karkaree Ruins. Once part of the Kidman Empire, this was a little station house they had here. In 1 year they lost 4,000 cattle. And so Kidman said, no, enough's enough. And they just abandoned it. And this is what's left. Apparently the roof was taken by the government during World War II because they needed some iron out here for something, obviously. So they decided, oh, well, we'll just take the roof of this. And this is what's left. So you can just imagine the climate out here, guys, in the 1800s, living in this stone building. It's in fantastic condition, though. Chimney there, fireplace, huge fireplace. People have all engraved their name on the sandstone, as you would, I suppose. It's always interesting to look at the dates. The people have engraved stuff. So you got 83, just there. What else have we got? 89, up the top there. Hard to tell what room is what, as in its purpose, back in the day, because they are just an empty shell now. Very cool. Original windows, the original wooden framing. It's in fantastic condition. So you can see here, guys, the render's actually starting to come off. So these are the original stones that were used, and then the render, obviously on top, the mud render. Very cool. 1963. All these people came from Blackwall to come and have a look. Like I said, guys, sometimes the graffiti on the wall is actually quite interesting. As much as I don't like it and don't like seeing it, sometimes it sort of adds to the charm. Not all the time, just sometimes. Fantastic condition, like I said. Just want to give you an idea of the remoteness here, guys. There's nothing for hundreds of kilometres. Boulia is 100 clicks away, but just have a look around. Absolutely nothing. Just stone after stone after stone. Desert just goes on and on and on. Now, always keep your eyes peeled for strange sights out here, folks. Like this old truck that was clearly target practice at one stage. Well, at least I hope it was target practice. Now, signs out here are your best friend. Some tell you where to go, whilst others tell you what will kill you. Alrighty. Just thought I'd quickly show you this, guys. This is the snakes that visit this area or live in this area. Now, some are venomous, some are not. I like to keep away from all of them if I can. Now, one that's very well known in Queensland is the eastern brown, which is dangerously venomous. You can die from it. The inland taipan, that is the one you really need to look out for. This guy right here is the most dangerous land snake in the world. Now, he only lives in this corner of Queensland, where I am now. Now, once you get past Boulia heading north, you enter the main section of the stony desert. And until you go out there and see it for yourself, guys, it is indescribable how isolated you really are. And it just goes on and on and on. There's some sand dunes off into the distance, but they're few and far between now. It's definitely mostly just stones and more stones now, it seems. I'm certainly glad that they've paved this road and it's no longer a stony dirt road, because they'll probably go through a few tyres going over that stuff, I tell you. Don't blink or you'll miss it. There we go, folks. Now officially in the Tropic of Capricorn. We are now in the tropics, believe it or not. I don't blame you if you don't believe it. Have a go at that. Not a tree in sight. Out here in these outback towns, make an effort to find the murals around town. They are simply stunning. The tank here in Boulia isn't big enough to really paint, like the one in Thargomindah. So they decided to paint their aquatic sports centre instead. What we've got here is a classic outback mustering scene going on here, wrangling up some cattle on what looks like a glorious sunset. Very, very well done. The landscape coming into Mount Isa. Oh, breathtaking. And then it happened. A smashed windscreen. So, well, that put an immediate dampener on things. Now, the Ranger also decided that it wanted to throw a drivetrain warning light on the dash. So my stopover in Mount Isa, which was meant to be for lunch, turned into a 3-day stopover. So I decided to explore. The dam just outside of Mount Isa is absolutely stunning. If you have an afternoon in Isa, I highly recommend the 10-minute drive out there. Well, day 3 in Isa came around and I had had enough. I wanted to get on the road, so I went on a day trip to some incredibly famous pubs. One from a movie, the other from a folk song that is now legend and some say should be the national anthem. Stunning day here today. Not a cloud in the sky. That is supposed to change over the next few days with the wet season about to break. Perfect. Perfect spot. Now, one of the best things about not planning your trips, folks, is stumbling across things you just had no idea about. Just like this lake on Timberoo Station. Halfway between Mount Isa and Cloncurry, how spectacular is this? Here it is, the famous Walkabout Creek Hotel. The original car from the movie is still out here, out the front. And the original fence posting and the layout of the front area of the pub is still the same, with the addition of more currently popular branded beers on the facade, of course. And the crocodile, yep, he's still on the roof. This here is the original set of the Never Never Safari Tours office, complete with the seats and pool table. The walls now are full of movie memorabilia and photos of the time the film crew and cast were here. I'd highly recommend taking some time out and having a look around on the walls. There's some great images and shots of the time when the movie was made. The publican does ask for a donation to the Royal Flying Doctor Service if you want to take any photos or videos of the place, which, you know, I tend to think that's pretty fair, considering how famous the place is from the movie, and you would pay for any other tourist attraction anywhere else in the world anyway, and at least you know your money is going to a good cause, the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Now, the drives may seem long, guys, between towns, but the water holes at the end always make it worth it. Kainoona is a town that is well worth a stop in, folks. The unique locals will always make you feel welcome. Super friendly, used to having people around, and the locals look after them really well, so make sure you say g'day when you see them. They'll definitely come up and say hello to you if you don't go say g'day to them. Very friendly mob. And here it is, the Blue Heeler Hotel. Made famous by Waltzing Matilda, being performed here for the first time. Here's the inside, the main bar area. For a donation to Royal Flying Doctor Service, just like Walkabout Creek Hotel, you can grab a pen and leave your mark on the wall and let everyone know you've been here. Remember I was telling you about signs in the Outback? Well, have a go at this one. I appreciated the warning it gave. Beware of those car-eating cows, guys. They'll get ya. Like I said, everything kills you here in Australia. Now, in my attempt to keep these best bits clips to around the 20-30 minute mark, I'm gonna have to pause here again, folks. I know it's frustrating, we're gonna get through it, and that just proves that there is so much to see out there in the Outback. Trust me, there is heaps that I'm having to cut out of these original clips to keep it even this short. So make sure you check out the original clips linked below in the description. Part 3 will absolutely be the final part, I promise. Now, remember to send in your questions. It can be about anything at all. One more episode to go, folks. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week. We turn east and head back to the coastline with Sundays and back down to Brizzy. Until then, see ya.